Tonight on Oregon Field Guide.
You didn't make that eddy.
Oregon's wild and scenic Rogue River offers up a challenging but thrilling whitewater ride. Join us on a raft trip through the legendary Rogue.
Oh, this is just magnificent. So pretty it doesn't look real, does it?
Then we'll take you to higher ground as we report on forest management and its impact on cavity nesting birds. And finally, a look at how once abandoned railroad lines are now providing a unique recreational opportunity closer to town. Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Oregon Field Guide. I'm your host, Steve Amon. Early adventurers risked their lives exploring wild rivers cascading through the canyons of the West. But today, thanks to modern equipment, almost anyone can enjoy a safe trip on a whitewater river. Tonight, we join a couple as they get behind the oars for their first trip on Oregon's wild and scenic Rogue River. Blossom Bar, Mule Creek Canyon, Zane Gray. These are some of the names that draw visitors to the legendary Rogue River. There's the incredible scenery as the river cuts through the mountains on its 215-mile run from Crater Lake to the Pacific. And bald eagles, deer, and other wildlife. But most of all, there's the chance to get away. Really away from work, from telephones, television, even the daily news.
Where are you going to put everything?
Huh?
But before the journey can begin, all essentials must be packed in waterproof bags. For Denny and Joanne Jenkins, it's their first trip on the Rogue.
To think about the rapids that we've heard so much about and read, and to be able to experience them, yeah, that's a real thrill. It's an adventure, definitely.
Make the adventure complete, they've decided to row themselves.
From what they're talking about, some of the rapids that we're going to go down, it's a little scary.
How many people have rowed?
Denny has rowed a raft once before, but Joanne never has. So they've joined a guided trip to make sure the experience is safe as well as fun.
All these signals.
Dan Geyer is lead guide.
If you watch my boat, or the guide boats, that's where you want to go, okay? Either
On dry land, Dan shows the new boaters how to avoid trouble.
where you gain control in a rowboat is by going slow current.
Dan requires that every boater wear a life jacket on the river.
You want to be safe.
Finally, it's time to shove off. The trip starts on an easy stretch of river where everyone can practice rowing.
Okay? It's a good time to work on your stroke. Nice, even strokes. Right now, it's kind of spread out.
Just before the rapids, Dan shouts instructions about the best route.
Okay, now this next rapid's right of center. So pass that back. Right of center.
Right of center on the next one. Right of center. Right of center on the next one.
Okay, good, Bill. Come on across, Danny. Watch your angle there.
Everyone does okay in the rapid, and Dan is encouraged as the boats bunch up in the quiet water below.
Okay, nice job. Everybody hit the first eddy. Very good sign.
The next rapid is a little harder, but Dan doesn't expect any real problems.
At this water level, it's pretty much going to be big water, just big waves, okay? Lots of fun stuff. I'll be at the bottom, kind of pointing which direction.
One of those big waves curls back and could be dangerous. Then he makes a good run, slipping by the edge of the wave, but the next boat has trouble. His rowing skills aren't good enough yet to follow Dan's instructions to move left.
Pull right oar, pull, both oars, pull. Nicely done. Whew.
On this section, rafters share the river with jet boats taking customers on tours from Grants Pass. But motorized boats are prohibited below the bridge at Grave Creek. That's a federally protected wild and scenic section, and the Rogue gets both more scenic and more wild, starting right away with Grave Creek Falls.
Down the middle. Down the middle.
Lots of splash, but no problem.
Now we need to bail off the boat a little bit.
Rainy Falls is too dangerous to run, so the guides take the boats around down the narrow fish ladder. It's a bumpy ride, much appreciated by the people watching from the bank. There's another treat waiting around the next bend.
And there's an osprey up there. I'm going to dive down and catch some fish.
No fish on that attempt. But he shook himself off and moments later came flying by with dinner clutched between his claws. And speaking of dinner, it's time to make camp.
Camping is so much fun. And it's so easy.
But we have extra pieces.
Now, don't worry about the extra pieces.
Denny and Joanne have never put up this kind of tent before.
I don't know. It doesn't look right. But I like it.
When do we ask for help from somebody that has a tent like this?
No, it's a sign of weakness when you ask for help.
Joanne figures out where those extra pieces should go, and the tent's ready.
Do I have to admit it? I don't really want to admit that my wife was right.
You have to admit it.
No.
Now there's time to sit around the campfire and talk about the experiences of a nearly perfect day and what lies ahead on the river. An unpleasant sound greets the new day, rain.
I think maybe I might need some gloves in the boat today. This rain is a little bit cold.
But with warm clothes and rain gear, it's time to get back on the river. Dan shows the way through the day's first big rapid, while the inexperienced rowers watch from the shore.
They made it look awful easy. Okay, here we go. Here we are going backwards. Good recovery. Now we get to do some bailing.
Because of a dangerous wave at Black Bar, Dan has everyone scout the rapid from shore.
Basically, stay right and just face the wall, pull away.
I think you're talking to my husband. I'm riding in his boat.
Hey, nag, I can get that at home. Not your pushy,
In spite of his wife's doubts, Denny is now confident he can handle the raft, and he proves it, getting good reviews from his partner.
Stroke, 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 stroke. Woo! Woo-hoo! Oh, just right, just right. Woo-hoo! Yeah, good job, honey. You did a good job. Well, I'm going to go back and do that one again.
After the day of rain, the campfire becomes a makeshift clothes dryer, and that hot cup of coffee sounds mighty good. Next morning, while Dan talks about the day ahead on the river, other guides pump more air into the rafts. Denny looks to the skies, hoping the sun will win its battle with the clouds today.
It's a nice day, Suzanne.
Rolling down the river.
The weather battle looks to be a draw, with rain and sun at the same time. But rain or shine, the canyon is beautiful, with mossy rocks, steep canyon walls, and creeks tumbling over rocks to add their water to the Rogue Zone. With no serious rapids ahead, Dan convinces a reluctant Joanne to try her hand behind the oars.
All right, just make sure my husband doesn't holler at me.
Okay, now to make it easy for yourself, spin around with your right oar, just the right oar by itself.
That's that side.
Oh, hush up.
As we get in the current, we're gonna pull to the right, okay? Pull a little bit, pull back some.
I'm going to hit that rock.
No, you're okay. Okay, just stop. Pull on your left oar. Okay, just stop for a second. One little push. Give yourself a, oops, stop. Stop, 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 stop.
I told you I was going to hit that rock.
Well, you pull. Okay, now pull on your left oar. Pull on your left oar quick. Now both. Right into the bank there. There you go. In your winkle bar. Nicely done. This is Zane Gray.